Okay, you guys, we're going to do one more, or I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do Virgo, and then I'll be back later tonight to finish Libra through Pisces, and these will be out for March 1st. So much to talk about, so much to share with you guys. This just is such an exciting adventure. Again, thank you so much for being a part of this, of these classes. So it's exciting for me to kind of really start to document just some other angles of astrology. So I hope you guys are enjoying these videos so far. We're going to dive into Virgo. I'm a Virgo. I love Virgos. Virgo is the 6th sign of the zodiac, also ruled by Mercury. Some people say that Chiron, the wounded healer, is also an influence on Virgo, which I kind of seem to think that could be possible. This form of Mercury, like I said, changes from Gemini to Virgo. It's more methodical. It's more the Rubik's Cube, like sitting there trying to figure out how to put the piece back together. Virgos will become your arm if you lose it. If your arm gets cut off, a Virgo will literally mold into who you are, become who you are, and be your arm. They have this mutable, amazing ability to be what's ever needed. Because it is the second earth sign, it also rules the time of harvest. And it also rules, I don't know if I mentioned Leo with the time. That's more like 28 to 35 when you're kind of really at the top of your game. But Virgo is now 37 to 42, kind of that time frame, okay? When you're kind of getting mature, when you're saying, you know what? I can remember when I was like 37, and I don't know why, but I wanted to be able to say I'm 40. I'm a 40-year-old woman. Because, nobody takes you very seriously until you're like a 40-year-old woman. So Virgo has this emotional control about them that a 40-year-old woman around that time starts to develop. More of a discerning eye. They are earth signs. They're very sensual. They're very in tuned to the earth. Like right now, I've got birds on my left. I can feel the sun on my right. There's a little dragonfly that just went by. I mean, I'm talking, but I'm like feeling everything around me. I'm hearing the animals. My little dogs are behind me wrestling in the bushes. I am like zoop, tuned in. Trying to stay in control though and have a conversation. My senses are really coming through. This is a very perfectionistic. Sometimes you can see in medical astrology with Virgo rules the stomach, the nervous system, high anxiety. Here we go again. Anytime you see Mercury, it's high vibrational anxiety. Good with their hands, can get, Geminis and Virgos are very good with their hands, but also are going to be the ones who are the smokers, who are the ones that have oral fixations when the anxiety gets too high, falling into those traps. It rules the stomach, so Virgos can often go one way or the other, where they're on these raw diets, fish only, smoothies. They're best to eat a little bit all day long. Very sensitive stomach. So if they get nervous or they're worried, worry is very common because they're playing out in their mind. It's like the Rubik's Cube. When you have a problem and you can't always get the answer. Sometimes we have a problem, but the solution has to come over a few days, maybe a few weeks, maybe even a few months. It's very hard on the mind of a Virgo because it's constantly, let's look at that one more time. Kind of a rehashing effect. Okay, rehash, can get caught in OCD patterns, basically. Okay, so we're just kind of talking about the different sides of this. Virgo is really the Mother Teresa because it rules the stomach and it's the harvest. They're the ones who are setting the table. They're the ones who, Taurus planted everything a few months back. Now Virgo is taking it out and saying, how many do we have of this and how many do we have of that? We have wheat, we have, tomatoes, we have corn. And we got to get all of this together. We got to put it in the little jars. We got to put it in the little, store it just right because Thanksgiving's coming and we want to bring everything out. So they're tending to the farms, they're tending to the gardens, they're making sure the harvest is there. They're watching the little animals, the little chickens, all those things laying eggs, and they're bringing the harvest into the family. So they love doing that. Like put me out doing my chickens and my little plants and all that. I'm just in my glory. I'm just in my glory. Um, But what happens is there's such a strong need to feed everybody that they begin to do so many of the jobs because Virgos can master skills very well. Very good mimickers. Gemini also, very good mimickers. So we can master a craft very easy just by watching somebody do it or taking classes. We're very good at how to. We don't miss what they did. We can actually do it even with their little style if we want to get that, mimicky. You see a lot of number one top comedians are Virgos. A lot of the old Saturday Night Live crew, Jane Curtin and Adam Sandler and all of them were Virgos. They're funny, but it's kind of that quiet funny. It's that quirky funny. It's kind of like they surprise you. And they'll surprise you with things they say because they almost kind of can come in with this holier than thou, like I'm so perfect and I would never do anything wrong. But at the same time, they're earthy. So they're like, hey, man, we can talk about anything. Let's get down in the dirt. They'll surprise you that way. A lot of times Virgos will have allergies. Here I am itching. Here I got a sore neck. Allergies, acne, dry skin. When those things are happening, when you're a Virgo and you're off balance physically, you're going to be the number one to show signs of physical medical issues through your skin, through your hair, through anxiety, through your teeth. You're just very sensitive to the earth, to your earthly body. So you have to take very good care of it, but it also will indicate to you where you have stuff going on in your life emotionally. Virgos hold in a lot emotionally because who has time to talk about emotional stuff when everybody needs to eat? They're the caretakers. They're taking care of all the kids. They're very loyal. They're really looking for a partner. They'd love to let's go to Home Depot and buy some trees and go home and plant them. Let's go to Home Depot and get some paint, go home and paint the kitchen. That's like a great date, and go to lunch. They're pretty easy. It's kind of the hippie vibe. They don't need a lot of where the Leo really likes the best of everything. Virgos actually like to prove that they can take something out of nothing, that they're make an empire out of a childhood hobby. Number one, entrepreneurs, okay? But they hold a lot of emotion in because they analyze it a long time first before they that they want it to come out because they even want their emotional expressions to be perfect. It has to come out perfectly. That's hard. It's hard to keep all that up in their head. Virgo women usually have, or men too, can have an unusually good relationship with their mothers or a woman figure that they can talk to and do all this Virgo-y obsessive. You've got to have another Virgo friend or bestie friend for the Virgo. Okay, Virgos have to have that. They don't necessarily have to have a lot of friends, but they need someone that will listen to them get this out of their head. And usually it's another Virgo and they're doing the same thing. So my mom's a Virgo. A lot of my Virgo friends have Virgo moms, not uncommon. My son's a Virgo rising. My daughter has Mars in Virgo, so I have a lot of Virgo in my family. And we all rehash and we try to figure things out together. Talk about it. So we got the crows coming up now. And my dog's found a bunny or something. So usually they can juggle so many things, and I think when we get into where the Virgo really gets wounded is they kind of give sacrificially, like I'm not expecting anything in return. But then when nobody's doing anything, because nobody can do it like the Virgo or how it should be done. Even if the Virgo can't do it, they know how it should be done. When that happens, you know, the Virgo will begin to pick. The Virgo will begin to find every single one of your flaws and notice your flaws now. Before, they weren't looking at any of them because they were just in their angelic state of, I'll do it, watch me, you know. And then if they don't get the appreciation, like people after a while just get used to that. And they're like, you know, she'll do it. And then they start feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm being taken advantage of. Nobody appreciates me, and they go on like these strikes. That's when depression sets in for a Virgo. Okay, when they feel unappreciated, they don't necessarily need recognition as, you know, a huge thing, but they want people to notice, oh wow, I cleaned the kitchen, it looks really good. And they want people, when they help, like if you are, okay, we're going to have an event, here's the Virgo now, it's bringing all the food in and setting the table and setting up the kitchen, right? And you got a few helpers and they're over there grumpy and they're not happy to be helping you. No, that is not going to work for the Virgo. Virgo wants everyone to love every job they're doing, even if they don't. They want everyone else to love it. So there's a lot of demands. There's a lot of demands on the poor Virgo's mind. Um, I'm sympathizing now with us Virgos. But I'm telling you, there's nothing like a Virgo friend. Everyone has to have a Virgo in their life. It's the sixth house of health and keeping all the shit together and organizing things. It's the entrepreneur. It's putting the business together. Think about it in terms of the internet. You know, Virgos like to feed everyone. Well, we think of food, we think of the harvest, but it doesn't just go to food. It can go to spiritual knowledge. So a book is an entrepreneur writing a book, creating products, making maybe a line of oils, planting herbs and selling them. You know, again, how-to books. Look what I'm doing. How-to astrology. It's finding ways to take a big picture and create bite-sized pieces that everyone can digest. So that's the awesome thing about the Virgo. And again, we'll be talking more about all of these signs. I hope this stimulated some thoughts. And thank you guys for watching. I'll be back with Libra in just a bit.